Hey, ladies, welcome to the Single Moms United podcast. If this is your first time listening, welcome. If you are a repeat listener, thank you for your loyalty. So, today, before I get the party started, I want to add a disclaimer that this is going to be a longer episode than normal. I know my prior episodes have been right around 15 minutes or a little over that, but today's is going to be a little longer. So if you don't have that kind of time, you might want to check back later, but it's going to be a little longer than normal. However, it should provide some great content for you that should keep you engaged the entire time. How about that? So hopefully we can break even there. So today I want us to use our imagination. And I'd like to incorporate an analogy around a road trip and life's journey as a single mom, and what it will take to reach your destination. And what is our destination? Our destination for our children is for them to be independent and set them up for success. That's our destination. And give you a different perspective on how to plan for life's journey using this type of analogy. One of the things I think about in the Bible, Jesus always used parables to explain better a meaning, break it down a little better for those that his followers. He would use parables, and so I thought about that, and I was like, well, let me see if I can be a little creative myself. I'm certainly not Jesus, but giving you guidance on how to be successful as a single mom or improving your parenting skills. Again, this is not a one-size-fits-all. It's a one-size-fits-most. But hopefully you will find this little exercise or this analogy, you're able to incorporate it into your life. Let's get the party started. So let's get ready, set, and go. So believe it or not, there is a strong comparison between a road trip and life's journey. And the preparation involved is very similar with both of them. After sharing this episode with you, my hope is it will provide a clearer vision on your purpose as a single mom and some of the challenges you are going to encounter along the way. Before we get going, we have to identify what your position is going to be in the automobile. Are you going to be the driver or are you going to be the passenger? I'm going to pause right there and let you think about that for a minute, because that's important, the role you're going to play in this trip, this car trip, or just in life's journey. Got to know if you're the driver or the passenger, because there's a distinct difference between the two and the responsibility of the two. What is the destination again? I'm so glad you asked. Again, it's all about your child or your children becoming productive adults in society, them learning how to be independent. And in order for them to be independent and move out on their own, they have to learn some of life's basic skills, such as maintaining a home, cooking, cleaning, laundry, etc. They shouldn't want to find somebody that does that. They should be able to do that on their own. And when I say find someone, I'm talking about getting in a relationship of somebody who would do all of those things. Your child should be able to do that. It's important for them to be able to understand that these fundamental basics are required to be successful in life. And then the big one, let's not forget how to manage money and be able to take care of themselves. You know, that was my biggest downfall, is I did not have a good idea of managing money. And boy, oh boy, I paid through it for quite a few years because I just wasn't good at budgeting, and no one ever taught me, never had that communication. But anyway, that's another story for another time. So we're going to keep it moving. So let's start with what it means to be the driver. As the driver, it means you're the decision maker and accountable for the end results of your children arriving at their destination, which is independence. As the passenger, you're just riding along and someone else is driving. So, what does that mean? They're making all the decisions. What would cause you to be in the passenger seat? Relationships, relying on public assistance, anything. You're not making the decision. Someone else is making that decision for you. So that would mean you're in the passenger seat. And when you're in the passenger seat, guess what? It's going to cause delays in reaching your destination, getting your children to where they need to be in life, and being successful and independent. Now, ideally for this trip, you want to be the driver. Why, you ask? Well, your role has changed from me to we, and owning your child's success. Every parent's goal should be ensuring their children achieve success. For the sake of this exercise, success is defined as independence, a productive citizen in society. Now, we're not talking about perfection. Okay, so let's not get that twisted. Oh my God, my kid can't do no wrong and they're always going to be on the straight and narrow. Well, that would be nice, but it's not true and it's not going to happen. So I just want to clarify that right here, right now. So you're going to encounter obstacles. They're going to veer to the left, and that's okay. That's okay. And so we accept imperfection, but we still should be striving for independence. Okay? So let's get started with this analogy with preparing for this trip, or as I say, life's journey as a single mom, with a car ride. You want to arrive at your destination with minimal issues. We're going to start, for the sake of this exercise, we're going to start in New Jersey and we heading all the way to California. So we going across country. And so that's a long ride. Same thing with life's journey, with the exception of, this is until you die. This is long term parenting. This is not something that's going to go away, and hopefully nothing happens to your child. But this is long term, it's not short term. So you have to know your destination and plan for it. So here are things to consider for this trip: expenses and a budget. Before we engage in any type of trip, we must make sure we have our budget in place. Now, I just said we're traveling from New Jersey to California. That's not a short trip. You have to have a budget in place. In the case of the car trip, you want to make sure you have enough gas money. You want to have money to stop to get food because you're going to get hungry along the way. And then, because it's a 2-3 day trip, you might want to stop and stay at a hotel and get a good night's sleep before you continue on. You're going to need money for a hotel. So you have to plan all these things, right? To make sure you have the proper funds available. The other thing you have to plan for is unexpected expenses. So no matter how you prepare your car to be ready for this long trip, that does not mean it may not encounter a flat tire along the way. Unfortunately, this is real life, or any other type of accident. So budgeting and managing your money is critical to maintaining your household and reducing stress. Spending all your money as soon as you get it is a fatal flaw. Ask me how I know. Budgeting allows you to control your spending. I learned this the hard way. When I used to get my tax refund check, it was off to the store, not off to the bank. I spent it on things I wanted and not what I needed. I wish I would have known back then what I know now, which is take that money and put it in the bank and save it for a rainy day versus going out and spending it. Now, I know over these last few years, ladies, many of you got the stimulus checks, and they were some nice size checks. That is awesome. But I'm also fearful that you are like me. Yep, I got it. Let me go buy this TV. Let me go do this. Let me go do that. Things that were unrelated to managing your household. Do you have a monthly budget? How do you create a budget? Well, here's the good news. It's simple. You take your total monthly income and subtract your expenses. That's how I come up with a budget. So now you have money left over what you can play around with and maybe get your wants. Because now your needs are taken care of. You've taken care of that. And then anything extra you would do you once. Now, we live in a day and age where technology is just phenomenal when it works, but many banks have budget trackers, and there are apps out there that are also budget trackers. And you can easily go to the Play Store and download that on your phone. It'll help manage your budget, and that would be such a relief. And then you know where you need to make up a deficit potentially. Definitely go out and look for an app to help with that. Or again, you can try to do it the old fashioned way that I just mentioned, and that's just your total income that's coming in, and then you subtract your expenses from that. Will give you your money left over and how to plan for that. Again, your budget should consist of all your expenses, which are the basics, which is rent, food, utilities, and of course your phone bill. These items come first. Then you determine what is left and incorporate the remaining expenses. Again, your wants. You all have many more resources to assist with budgeting than what I had when I was raising my kids. All right, so let's talk about detours and obstacles. This is going to happen. Roads are always under construction, and no matter how you wish the trip should be smooth sailing and no issues, you will encounter a detour and or obstacles, which will have you getting off the main highway and going another route. Guess what? That is the same with life and parenting. With children, you are going to encounter detours such as unexpected expenses, illness, not just with the kids, but with yourself. How do you prepare for these? First, you have to acknowledge these are going to happen. It's going to happen. And then you develop a plan. Now, as we go into flu season, this would be a good time, ladies, to go out and stock up on cold and flu medications and vitamins, all of those things. When you get sick, hopefully it won't be long that you're down, but you have the required medications and vitamins to help you heal quicker. When kids start to school, at least once upon a time ago, they used to require, as part of their school supplies, is we had to bring tissues. Well, why was that? Okay, they're preparing because the kids are going to be sneezing, catching colds, and getting sick. You should practice this. Be proactive and go ahead and go out and stock up on these things. Get prepared because it's coming. It's going to minimize the stress of getting sick and having someone else try to go out and get these items for you. The other good news is there is online medical support. You can get advice, prescriptions without making an actual doctor visit. So you should research that, download that app, see how much it costs, if they need insurance information. If they do, you can go ahead and register that now, because when you get sick, you don't want to do all of this. Ask me how I know. I have been sick on a few occasions. Look, don't bother me. I just want to lay in the bed and pull the cover up over my head because I don't want to deal with anything. And especially got fever and chills, you're sick. And if you don't have anyone else there to help take care of you, this is your backup plan, ladies. Plan for this because this is real life. Sickness happens. The good news is, hopefully, if you prepare right, it doesn't stay around long. Hopefully, it's just for a moment and nothing long term. Now, another obstacle on the road trip: what happens if your car breaks down? Now, as long as you have insurance, it should include roadside assistance. And you never know when an accident will happen or occur. Or you experience a flat tire. You just riding along, and next you know, the car goes lopsided. And you're boom, 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 boom. Well, there you go. There's a flat. You ran over a nail. As a result of that nail puncturing your tire, you have a flat tire. This is subject to happen. This is real life. This is the same with life's journey. Now, if you are renting, ladies, you want to ensure you have renter's insurance. Anything can happen at any time, and the landlord is not obligated to replace your items. Let me pause right there. They are not obligated to replace your items. So your clothes, TVs, you're on your own. That's why you should get renter's insurance. And you can contact any insurance company and get that. And it doesn't cost a lot, which is really good. When I was renting, I think I was paying like $25 a month for it. And that covered like 50 to 75,000, I think, to cover my contents. So don't quote me. Talk to an insurance agent and get information, and check a couple of them, because I'm sure the rates will vary, and definitely understand what it would cover. This could happen at any time, especially if you're in a large apartment building. The person above you may leave the water running, and next thing you know, your apartment's wet. And once your apartment gets wet, then you have to relocate, and they don't have anywhere to put you, blah, 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 blah. And so you definitely want to be prepared if something like that happens, because fires happen all the time as well. And we are going into fire season. As it gets cold, people are doing different things to keep warm, and unfortunately, fires happen. And I pray that it doesn't, but they do. Are you in position if something happens and you have to immediately leave your apartment? Now, see, you are in the driver's seat when you plan for this type of disruption in your life, but you're in a passenger seat if something happens and you're choosing to wait for Red Cross or another charity to step in and resolve your situation. Ponder that. You're at the mercy of them. Whereas if you have renter's insurance, you can do all of your due diligence in advance, get all the information you need from that insurance person, and store it, because you just never know. Because remember, these are temporary issues. The good news is we can get through these detours because they are in our trip plans. They are in our life's journeys plan. And that's going to ease the stress, because if something happens, you don't need to freak out. Just myself, I had to file a claim a month ago because my ceiling was leaking because I had some faulty plumbing. But guess what? I had insurance. So I didn't need to freak out like, oh my God, which I did. But it was only for a moment because I remembered I had insurance. And that's what that does for you, ladies. That's what puts you in the driver's seat, because now you're controlling things. Now, I won't spend a whole lot of time about my insurance claim, only just reminding you, ladies, if you do not have renter's insurance, please do that. Now, you may also encounter some distractions while you're driving across country. You may see a lot of attractions you don't see in your hometown. And so they may pique your curiosity or your interest and cause you to deviate from the plan, causing you to get off the exit. Keep in mind, sightseeing was not included in the plan. The goal is to reach your destination. When you become distracted from your purpose, it results in delays, ladies. As a single mom, it gets lonely when that fella gives you a second look. It's easy to get distracted from your purpose or your destination of making sure your children are on the road to independence. A lot of times we allow him to become the driver. Getting off the exit, ladies. That distraction. Or you're still paying and pumping the gas and completing all the auto maintenance. So he's not even contributing to the maintenance of the automobile, but yet you're allowing him to drive. All because you don't want to drive this journey alone. Remember, the kids are in the car and they're watching. Like, Mommy, why did you get in the passenger seat? And think about what message that sends to them. Because remember, eventually they're going to try to get into a relationship with someone. So we have to be careful what we allow our children to see. Now, keep in mind, as the driver, you are in control. This is your opportunity to train your child or your children regarding auto maintenance. This is a part of your goal to introduce responsibilities to them. So remember, single mom, you don't have to do this on your own. This is a learning opportunity when you are the driver. But if you're just sitting in the passenger seat just watching, what are your children learning from that? And additionally, when you are driving, you can adjust the speed your car is traveling. There may be times in which you have to speed up or slow down. Things are happening in your life. And it's like, wait, I need to pump the brakes for a minute. So an example of when you may need to speed up or slow down is technology. Falling behind with technology. How are you going to monitor your child or your children's online activities? And also, there may be a learning or educational opportunity with technology. So you would want to stay at least the speed limit when it comes to technology and understanding what the latest is. And I'm sure most of you are single moms in your 20s or 30s, so you're probably already there, the latest technology, because you're going to need to know that, because kids are smart. They're going to get in, they're going to learn this stuff, and off to the races they go. And we're trying to keep up with them. Now you have to press the accelerator, try to keep up. Remember, passengers are only riding along and generally do not provide a whole lot of value to the trip. Absorb that, ladies. So if you're in the passenger seat, you're just there. And as a single mom, you should be the driver of your household. Another nice feature on cars, especially for long trips, is they have cruise control. So it allows you to set that speed and you can relax that leg and stretch it out and everything. And all you have to do is just worry about steering and keeping the car in the lane. And then it allows for a steady speed. Cruise control for your life's journey is ongoing learning and teaching. Again, this should be steady. You should be constantly learning something new for you and your children. Because once they become independent, a lot of people are like, what do I do now? I have an empty nest. That's what they call it. I have an empty nest. I'm now dabbling in podcasting. When I started, I didn't know what I was doing, and I'm a little further along than I was 7 months ago. This is how I fill that void now that I have an empty nest, as I'm learning how to be a podcaster. And it's been fun learning and being the editor and the producer, and which again is cool. I'm learning every day and I love it. And ladies, this is something, and it may not be podcasting, but whatever your gift is, this is your time to allow it to shine. Let it glisten a little bit. At some point, you should be able to pull out your gift, because that's what's going to get you out of the bed in the morning. That's what's going to motivate you. And then when you uncover your gift and know what your gift is, then you can pass it along to your children. Let me get back on the highway of this episode. So autos also have turn signals to remind other drivers you are turning or merging onto the highway. Same thing with life's journey. This often happens when changing jobs or moving or just going another direction in life, and hopefully it's a positive one. And I've always heard the term stay in your lane. In other words, mind your business. I agree when it comes to gossiping. Yes, stay in your lane, and what other people are doing, it's none of our business. However, as you mature and identify your gift, it may require you to let people know you are changing lanes. And again, I'll revert back to that relationship. He's still trying to come back, but you say, you know what? I'm changing lanes. I'm merging onto the highway of success. See my signal? I'm moving, and so therefore, or we won't continue in this relationship because I have my signal on and I'm getting over. Generally, when you get over, that's to let the other car pass, or again, you merge onto that lane. And some people, you have to let them stay on the outside as you continue on your journey, not just for you, but for your children. So, in order for us to begin our destination, there's this thing called a gear shift in the car. And the gear shift has several options in order to get the car to move. And the first option is park. When you get in the car, you turn it on and you check your mirrors and everything. I don't care how hard you press that accelerator. If you don't move that gear out of park into drive, you're not going anywhere. You're just sitting in the car revving the engine, watching others walk by or ride by. And as a single mom, sometimes our mindset keeps us in park because we have been labeled. And we have been labeled negatively. We think we can't advance because of our title. And I've said it more than once. It's not how you arrived at the title, but what you do with it. Now, you can stay in park all you want to, but you're not going to go anywhere. So you can sit in the car, turn it on and everything, but if you don't move the gear out of park, you just sitting there revving the engine. But if you're ready to move, ladies, if you're ready to adopt a new positive mindset, ensure your children reach their destination of independence, and then also giving you that opportunity to reveal your gift, you have to put the car in drive. And guess what? It goes past reverse, which is right after park. Meaning, we ain't trying to go backwards, okay? We ain't trying to go back there. We learn from our mistakes. I know I have. You know, the financial woes I went through life, I'm not going back there. I've learned. And so I go past reverse and go straight to drive. And drive is going forward. And sometimes, ladies, our mentality of wanting to stay in park is, I want to have another child, or getting into another relationship, knowing you have this potential to be at another level in your life, but you're allowing these distractions and not moving that gear to keep you isolated, pent down in part. Now you're thinking that last relationship or this new relationship is going to be better than that last one. That's not always true. Let's put the car in gear and let's drive forward. Let's get out of park. Let's move. Let's drive. Let's get to our destination. If we go back to the actual car trip, how far you think you're going to get from New Jersey to California in park? Think about that. I don't know how many miles it is. I'm assuming 1,000. I don't know. Don't quote me. You still sitting in New Jersey. Your destination is California. And you're in park. Think about that, ladies. And your kids are in the car with you, sitting in the back seat, eating snacks, and you sitting in park. Come on, ladies. I know I'm sounding a little harsh, but yeah, I'm known to get emotional. As a single mom and knowing where I have been and where I am, yeah, I'm becoming a little emotional, a little passionate right now, because you don't have to stay in park. It's easy to adjust that gear and put it in drive. All right, I'm done. I'm going to get off my pedestal and keep it moving. I done got off the exit again. So when traveling, the car also has many mirrors and windows This is very important part of traveling, meaning they must be clean. You need to see your surroundings. Dirt, bugs, other outdoor elements, they're going to construct our view. People and things will have the same effect on our views throughout life. So the front windshield is very large and allows you to see more. So you definitely want to make sure it remains clean because you want to see all your surroundings. Let's put this in perspective of life. You know, as a single mom, you have seen a lot and should be able to guide your children related to upcoming obstacles or detours. As a parent in general, it's up to you to guide your children throughout life and protect them. This is why you have to keep the wiper fluid full because you never know when you have to wash the dirt off the windshield. That's your job, single mom. Sure job. Now let's talk about the mirrors. When you have two side mirrors and a rear view mirror. Now the side mirrors are there to help you with blind spots to merge over. And I love what today's technology on my car, you have the sensors. It lets you know when there's someone in your blind spot, so areas you can't see. I love that. I absolutely love it. And where has it been all my life? The side view mirrors are designed to see your surroundings before you merge into the next lane to ensure it's safe and that you don't bump up against somebody, right? This is the same with life's journey. We want to make sure our surroundings or your surroundings as it relates to negative people that aren't moving in the same direction as you are related to success. So you want to look both ways. And if negativity is coming up on the side of you, and sometimes it's in the blind spot, if negativity is there, turn that signal on so you can get over and get into the positive lane, right? Because we don't want to stay in the negativity lane. And that's what your side mirrors will allow you to do. Merge into the positive lane. The world has enough negativity already. We don't need to bring negative folks along with us. Now, the rear view mirror is generally there to see if anyone is tailgating us. Just kidding. However, in my day, it was there to help with leaving a parking spot. At least that's what I used it for, to look to see who's behind me. And it's there for a quick glimpse. Who sits and stares in the rearview mirror? Think about that. Who does that? Nobody. It's a quick glimpse to say, is it clear? With life's journey, there will be times we have to take a quick glimpse of where we came from as a reminder of our destination. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, if you're tired of waiting for the monthly check or the monthly provisions from public assistance, then we want to start putting that in the rear view mirror. Take a glimpse at it every now and then because we're driving, we're moving forward. And we're not going to keep looking in the rearview mirror of where I was living paycheck to paycheck. We're going to go out and we're going to try to do better. We're going to learn. We're going to get educated. And that's the key. And it's not even how you do it. You don't have to go to a 4-year college, a 2-year college. You can go to some of these YouTube channels. Whatever your gift is, whatever you want to learn, you can do that. You can do, and there's no charge. You can do that. So if you're ready to move forward, and part of putting the gear in drive is education. I know one of the biggest issues that I encountered in my life overall is not knowing, being uneducated, and lack of communication. If I could have shored those things up, and if someone would ask me, what would I change as I was raising my children, is just that education, knowing better or seeking education. And ladies, you can do that. Yes, you're a single mom. You may not feel like you have that kind of time, but you do. And it doesn't have to be 8 hours. It doesn't have to be 4 hours. You can say, an hour a day, I'm going to learn this. Maybe it's a new word. What does this word mean? Right? There's just so many options available for you now that you should be definitely in a better position than I ever was when I was raising my kids. Because now you can go out and check out these resources and see what's available to you so that you can put your car and drive and move forward. All right, I'm almost done. Next and final, all cars have a horn. And this is a great feature to alert drivers or pedestrians to basically get out the way. I'm coming through. Or watch out, or hey, many people, such as myself, check their text messages while waiting for the light to change. And so, as a result of just sitting there, the person behind you may tap their horn lightly to remind you or remind me the light is green and go. Now, with life's journey, we have to pay attention to these alerts we receive. An alert you might receive is people seeing something in you that you don't see in yourself. When's the last time you asked someone what they thought about you? And hopefully it would be all positive. So you probably would want to specify that. Some people can be a little ruthless and just say, yeah, you this, and that, and end up going in a different direction by providing negative things about you. We all know we are imperfect, but we also have a good side to us as well. There are people out there that should be able to come back and say, you do very good at this. This is another way of identifying your gift so that you can put the car in drive and that you're not sitting parked because of all the negative things that people have told you about you or talked about your imperfections. We would want to do this because we're raising children on our own. We have to understand who we are to better guide them to who they are. As they get older and as technology continues to progress, peer pressure is still there, and our kids may get off the exit what we taught them, or think that they know what's best. Back in the day, they used to call it smelling themselves. I know more than you, and you were never my age, and how you think you can tell me? This is time to blow the horn. And I'm not talking about beep beep. I'm talking about beep. And I'm not talking about leave a message. I'm talking about blow that horn. If you see them doing the e-cigs and skipping school and doing other things that could lead them down a direction they're not going to reach their destination, blow the horn, blow it loud, lay on it. All right, ladies. Again, I told you at the beginning of this episode that it was going to be longer than normal, but hopefully you stayed engaged through the entire episode. So thank you again for joining today's podcast episode. You can't spell united without you. So let's unite, encourage one another. We are all single moms doing the best that we can. It doesn't matter how old you are, how many kids you have, or your ethnicity. Love your children and love yourself. Life is too short to delay displaying affection, and you owe it to your children. I hope you found this episode encouraging and motivating on this journey called life. I hope you found value in this analogy to help remind you of your final destination. Have a fantastic day, a fantastic week, and a fantastic month. Take care, ladies.